two 7+ pound pork shoulders, 25 bucks, Costco. Can't beat it. 14 pounds of butt. So they debone the pork butts, and you can see there's lots of inside. Go ahead and lather that up with some rub. Can you over rub butts? Probably not. I've over rubbed ribs before. So when they do that, I like to use this, cooking string that I bought once for turkeys to tie them all up. And it's kind of cool. You can get it on Amazon. It's a little string dispenser. But I'm going to tie this puppy up so it's nice and tight, like it has the bone in it. Like with ribs, sometimes I'll mix a little light brown sugar, little Dixie crystals, in with the butt rub, Bad Byron's. Put a pan of apple juice in there also, which evaporates and helps create like a candy seal around the butts, which keep all the moisture in as they are cooking low and slow. You can see here where I tied up the butt. I just did one string per butt this time, but you can see, like, I should put another one here. All right, two 7-pound butts, lubed up, tied up, and ready to go take the smoke nap. Before I put the butts on, I like to put some apple juice in one of these metal ninth pans. And I use this Martinelli's brand. It's kind of a premium apple juice. And once I close that lid, I'm not going to open that thing till tomorrow at noon, probably, or 1 o'clock. So the apple juice does good to give it some moisture in there and keeps those juices in. So my smoker of choice currently is the Traeger Select Pro wood pellet grill. I'm sure you're familiar with the wood pellet grills. Traeger's one of the industry leaders in pellet grills, and they kind of got a pretty nice community out on Facebook and social media. They got a really engaging app with lots of recipes. The best thing is it produces some really, really tasty food. So we've lit the smoker. We're gonna get up to 225 here, and then I'm going up, boom. And then I'm gonna set these gorgeous butts that the brown sugar has been melting into the butt rub, and then sort of creating this glaze over them. And they're pretty easy to handle when you put those strings on them. You can just pick them up by the string. Of course, when I'm filming it, I'll drop it. Now, here we go. Boom. Boom. It's about 10 p.m. on a Friday night. So I found the best way to do these is do them overnight, because if you try to do them in daylight waking hours, there's just not enough hours in the day. We're using this Therm Pro, which is a pretty good setup. It's only about 65 bucks. It's battery powered. You've got a remote unit, and then you've got the unit that you hang on the grill. Comes with these probes. I've already burned through one set of them, but you can buy them on Amazon pretty cheap. And plug them up. I put one in the butt and one just doing the ambient temperature. All right, we're putting the probes in. You always want to put the probe in the thickest part of the thickest butt. make sure you get the internal temperature all the way through. And then I'm putting the alternate one. They make little clips you can clip into your grill. I seem to have lost mine, but I have stuck it up here where this is where the thermostat is for the pellet grill, and it usually does pretty good. So it's kind of nice grilling out here at night too. Got the cicadas in the background here in North Georgia. But yeah, so what I'll do now is I'll show you a couple of features on the remote from the thermometer, and then really all you're doing from there is just making sure you don't run out of pellets. So obviously you want to make sure your pellets are as full as you can get them. And then it's about 10 o'clock right now. I'm probably good to go for the night. I might come out right before I go to bed at 11 or so and just top them off. So here's the remote. You can program the alerts you'll get when it hits a certain temperature. So as you can see, the internal temp is at 44 degrees. I just put it on. And it's set to start alarming at 2:04. And then I've got the smoker set at 225, and I got it to set alarming for 275, just getting too hot. Negative side of the ThermoPro is that it doesn't give you when the temperature falls below a certain rate. And when you're smoking all night, it would be nice to get an alert if your fire went out for some reason or your pellets didn't drop. But this unit doesn't do that. They have units that will do that. Yeah, even though these won't tell you when the fire goes out, they'll only alert you when the temperature's too high. I keep mine on the nightstand overnight so I can just reach over and take a look at it and make sure it's, you know, in that 225 range where I want it. So the key to the overnight smoke is you got to keep the grill same temp all night long. So you need to keep your pellet bin as full as you can. It's going at a low temperature at 225, so it's not going to burn through pellets like you were if you had it up at 375 or 400 for chicken. Now, can you smoke through the rain? Yeah, I've done it. You know, it's thermostat driven, so if the rain cools off the grill at all, the thermostat's gonna tell it to drop more pellets. So you can smoke in the rain overnight while you're sleeping and have amazing pulled pork the next day. The key is, now that we're on the smoker, 204 is the goal line. So what you'll notice, it takes a while to get to 204. Another thing you'll notice is there's this period around 170 to 185 where it just stops. Good morning, Traeger. So I slept through the night on this one and I got lucky. Still 225. So I'm gonna come over and see how lucky I got. Yep, you can see the pellets moved down. I just escaped. 11 o'clock I had topped this all the way up, and that's what it did by 8 in the morning. So you can see how it can be done, but almost wish I got up during the middle of the night. But no matter, it worked. All right, we're topping off the pellets. It's about 9 a.m. I've been using this Traeger gourmet blend. Maple, hickory, and cherry. It's 10 o'clock. Still holding a steady 225. All right, 11 o'clock. We're at 198. Still holding steady. Around 220, 225. And this is the part where you really got to test your patience. Here's an igloo cooler we're going to use once we pull them off. We're going to pull those butts, we're going to drop them into this cooler and let them rest for an hour without a towel, because that's the method I used, and it seems to be working for me, and I don't have to ruin a towel. All right, we did it. We stayed at 225 and we have landed at 204. It's about a quarter of 2, so we'll round it up to a 16-hour smoke. Let's take a look at these bad boys. Oh Lord. So you might think you could pull these off by the string like you put them on, but the pork is so tender, the weight of the pork, the string will go right through it. So definitely get you some tongs or a spatula or something to help support the butt when you're pulling it off. All right, they're in the cooler. Let's let them sit for an hour. Then we'll start pulling them. Look at that beautiful smoke ring. One of the reasons I don't wrap it in foil is I like for it to be getting smoked the entire time. It's turned out really well. One of the drawbacks of not wrapping in foil is you probably have a little more burnt waste on the outside. I will allow some of that into the pork as long as it's not so charred that it's gonna be too crunchy or give it a burnt flavor. Now these are the charred ends and some of the more fatty pieces, and since I'm got 2 butts going, I get a lot of good reviews on the barbecue, and one of the reasons I think is because I pull it by hand, and I also try to keep as much of the meat. I get some of the more brown pieces of bark in there, but the black pieces of bark I take out, and some of the more fatty pieces. But my wife absolutely loves this. She just ate about half of this pile of the what is going to be scrap. All right, once you pull them, they're ready to serve, wrap, bag, and freeze. I like to put a little salt and pepper on and sort of toss it in there just to liven it up a little. And then typically you don't need barbecue sauce on them. People will put barbecue sauce on their sandwich in whatever flavor they like to season it with. But sometimes I will put a little dab in there if I'm going to freeze some, just to keep it moist, and it adds a little bit of flavor to it. But I don't want it to be seen on the pork, so it's just really a little dab. That's a wrap. We can wrap them up, freeze them, serve them on buns. We like to do a little street taco with them. Yeah, and who can forget the pulled pork nachos as well. It freezes great. We've kept it frozen up to a month. It thaws really quick for a quick dinner at night, or if you want to make some quick tacos for a snack.